Minecraft is very big and very strange. Hundreds of millions of blocks with distances as big as the universe itself, and in the middle of it all, there's you and us. As far as the Minecraft world may seem when looking beyond the farlands, it gets even bigger when you're looking up or looking down. You are always walking above a vast space of seemingly infinite emptiness blocked by an unbreakable bedrock barrier called the Void. But is the Void really infinite? Well, let's take a dive. 3, 2, 1. After y-64, you start to take damage of 4 hearts every half a second. A simple workaround to this issue would be constantly eating enchanted golden apples and free-falling into the Void. However, this wouldn't work as you would eventually run out. Let's pretend we don't need to worry about the damage and see how far we can really fall into the Void. Minecraft's limit. Looking into the source code of the game, we can see that the teleport limit that Minecraft have set themselves is minus 20 million blocks, and trying to teleport any further down would result in an error. Some may think this is how deep the Void goes, but if you teleport this deep, it is still possible to fall even further, so clearly this isn't where it ends. If we were to fall from y-64 all the way to the 20 million block limit, it would take us around 3-4 days of falling into the Void to reach this depth. However, to travel any further, we need to remove the 20 million teleport border, so let's take a quick dive into Minecraft's code. Here we can see that Minecraft's teleport limit is set to negative 20 million, so the most logical option would be setting it to a really high number, right? Wrong. Setting it to a really high number would cause the game to crash before it even starts. The workaround is setting it to 1.0 over 0.0, so Minecraft would read it as NaN, as dividing by 0 is impossible. This would mean that we would have no limit to teleporting into the Void, so let's take a dive again into the infinite unknown. 3, 2, 1. The 32-bit integer limit. As I mentioned in the last video, the 32-bit integer limit is the main border in traveling blocks in Minecraft, whether it's beyond the farlands or at the bottom of the Void. Minecraft usually crashes at this limit because it's usually the max amount of numbers that Java can hold in its code. However, this rule may not apply millions of blocks deep into the Void. Because we are 2.1 billion blocks into the Void, Minecraft is not actually generating any new terrain, so the game will not crash. A new phenomenon that occurs at these depths is that in the Void you no longer seem to take damage, so health is pretty much no longer a problem. As deep as the 32-bit limit may seem, when we teleport this deep we can still fall down, so how much deeper does it go? Well, falling from y-64 all the way to the 32-bit limit will take us just under a full calendar year of constant falling to reach 2.1 billion blocks. So what other limits are there and how deep do they go? The 64-bit integer limit. We are now all the way down at 9.2 quintillion blocks into the Void. Before, it took us just under 1 year to reach 2.1 billion blocks, but at these depths, if you were to fall all the way down, it would take around 3.7 million years to fall all the way down to this depth. This is deep, because in 3 million years the Earth will slow down by a full minute, the giant star Betelgeuse will explode, and a supervolcano on our planet will likely erupt. But we're here to talk about the Void. Before we go any further, I must put an epilepsy warning, as going into F5 this deep results in very flashy colours. Every rule created for Minecraft does not exist at these depths. Colours break down, damage disappears, and you can no longer fall or teleport any further than this length. Trying to teleport any further will result in an error, so the max limit for teleportation is the 64-bit limit, and seeing as you can't fall down any further, for now this is the maximum depth of Minecraft. 9.2 quintillion blocks. But what if there was another way to find out how deep we could go? What if instead of down, we went up? Beyond the 64-bit limit. This is where the phrase "the sky's the limit" really comes alive. But what is the limit? Well, first we tried a 50-digit number into the sky, seeming as the 64-bit limit is 20 digits long, so why not go even further? At first, the sky may look a little bit different with some colors being more saturated, but when you go into F5, things get a little bit more interesting. Another epilepsy warning is advised. The flashing of the colors gets even more intense as we are even further from the main world. Everything breaks down, but this is still not the final limit. After the 50-digit number, we decided to double it and go for a 100-digit number. To put that into perspective, that is 5 times the distance of the 64 bits limit. And if we could go this deep into the void, it would take us a whopping 18.5 million years to fall from bedrock all the way down to this number if it were possible. At the height of the 100-digit number, the colors are way more saturated and defined, and there is no blending colors. Going into F5 just resulted in way more intense flashing, so we won't be showing that again. It's time to end this competition and see what number is truly the limit for teleportation in Minecraft. 1 times 10 to the power of 248 is the maximum limit of Minecraft Sky, and this is it. Teleporting this high results in even more saturated colors and flashing when going into F5. If you were to travel from the top of the sky all the way to the bottom of the void, you would travel a whopping 2 times 10 to the power of 248 blocks. This number is so astronomically high that if we were to convert 1 block to 1 meter, this distance would be 216 times larger than the distance of the observable universe. Timescales also break down at distances this length, and it is safe to say that no one will be attempting this world record anytime soon. So let's take one last dive into the void and see what we find. Ready? 3, 2, 1.